The first thing people would say when I told them that I was moving abroad is, well, what do you want to do for work? Are you going to keep your job? So, I have been an entrepreneur for the last 10 years, and prior to moving abroad, I had given up my nail business. I was a licensed beauty specialist, and I had also dibbled and dabbled in DJing. Okay, I am not a jack of all trades, but I am an extremely creative person, and I have done many things from being a published author, a published poet, a grant writer, all sorts of things. When you put them all together, at the end of the day, I am an educator. I'm someone who likes to learn specific and unique skills and pass them on to other people. So now that you understand that about me, you can probably guess what I'm going to tell you next about how I moved abroad with no job. Let's just start from the beginning. When I decided to move abroad 13 months ago, I had no savings whatsoever. When I say I had no savings, I don't mean I just had no savings fund to move abroad with. I had no savings structure, no plan, no fund for anything, not even a rainy day. But as soon as I decided to move abroad, I started saving every dollar that I earned. Okay? Being an entrepreneur is really great. It has its pros and its cons. I did really well for myself. For me, I spent every dollar that I earned. A lot of it I invested into education for myself. However, I did not have good spending habits at all. I had no savings habits. But once I decided to move abroad, I developed them like that. I had multiple streams of income, so I started to save majority of my money. Anything that did not go towards my expenses, I saved. I am not a person that had a lot of debt. I only had school loans. So I was able to focus majority of my funds in paying my rent or my car note going forward. So that way, in the months leading to my move, I did not have to worry about paying rent the last 2 months. I was able to save that money and also save any cash tips that I earned from doing nails, save the money that I earned from DJing, and then I decided to get a full-time job. For me, this was a very interesting and pivotal decision because if you're an entrepreneur and you've had success in it, it's very weird to think about going back to a 9 to 5 job. But for me, it was one of the easiest decisions to make simply because I was going to be able to work from home. I was going to be able to sit down all day, plan out my move, do a lot of research so that way I could be ready to go when it was time. Let me back up here. There was a lot of mindset shifts that I had to make in order to feel comfortable with moving abroad as a solo parent, as a woman, and as a Black person, right? So the first question for me was, where are the Black people at? Like, where are the Black people going? Where are safe countries? Um, Things like that. Okay. So we have the School of Life, we have actual school and books where you can learn from other people. And then we have YouTube. I YouTube everything. I literally typed in Black people moving abroad. Where are countries that are accepting of Black people, or where are countries that Black people are moving to? Because I knew that Black people were moving abroad, mostly to Mexico, and Mexico was the first place that I researched for our move. I ended up going farther away to Brazil, mainly because I felt like Mexico is very close to the Americas. Um, Mexico is a part of the Americas. So they're in bed with them. And it was just too much. As far as like the political standing, I wanted to get away from America as far away as I could without being too far. I ended up in Brazil, which is a day away, which is very, very far. Okay. But it works for me. If you're on this video, you're probably not asking yourself, why would you want to move abroad? But I'll tell you my specific reasons on why I wanted to move abroad. As a business owner, you always figured that you would start a business, you would have success, and then you would be able to just lounge on the beach and live. Well, after 10 years of small business life, you realize that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. Okay. That is not the way that it happens. Trading your time for money is not how you become wealthy. It's not how you maintain your health either. So for me, I've always prioritized my health, and just knowing and feeling mentally exhausted and physically exhausted by the way of life in America, that was enough reason for me to want to find a higher quality of life. That has been my main reason to want to move abroad, was to find a higher quality of life. To me, that means better quality of water, better quality of food, little to no microaggressions. Okay. And as once you move abroad, you find out that racism exactly may not be everywhere in the way you experience it in America, but colorism is. Okay. We're not going to talk about that today. Today, we're just talking about how I moved around with no job, but it is an important thing to note. If you are tired of saying that you want to move abroad or living the same year of your life over and over, I created the Moving Abroad Toolkit, which has a financial calculator to help you determine and understand how much it could take you and your family to move abroad. Also, inside is the interactive timeline generator, which helps you understand steps to moving abroad in 90 days, 6 months, or 12 months. The link is always in the description. If you've ever felt any need to just drop everything and run, this is your permission slip to do that, okay? Not just because you can, but because living in America is so ghetto. Like, and let's go ahead and put a divide between ghetto and third world. But America is also the next third world country. You may not believe this, but if you're watching this video, you see the writing on the wall. For me, it was important to leave before I was unable to leave, before I had no more right to leave and go anywhere. I had to make sure that I was out of that circumstance, my daughter was out of that circumstance, and also I can go forward and build a safe space, a life, a refuge for my family members once they started to smell what the rock was cooking. Sorry. I was born in the 90s. You do not need anyone to validate your decision to move abroad. Whether it is because you want to leave America or not, to me, I am just now learning how great it has been to leave. Before, as I told you, my main reason for leaving was to have a higher quality of life. I was tired of eating poisonous food, drinking poisonous water, and wondering why I felt doom and gloom at every turn. That was my main reason. But now when I see like the memes and the videos and all the information circulating about the US, I'm very, very, very glad that I made that decision. You don't need your family members to understand why you want to move abroad. You don't need your friends to understand why. There is a life outside of America, and there are communities outside also. I'm just now building my community, but I really, really want to build a place for like minded individuals, people that are artists, people that have high, high value skills, people that enjoy the culture of the world. Okay, I want to be a world citizen. I want to be a person that is knowledgeable and can enjoy the beauty of location freedom. So after months and months and months of saving up my money and after getting a full-time job, I went ahead and started to really narrow down exactly where I was going to go. I did at least 4 to 6 months of research. So I just saved my money and I did a bunch of research until I got to maybe the 6 month deadline, and then I'm like, okay, the time is now. Let's decide on where we're gonna go. And I started paying for my Airbnbs and my accommodations going forward. So I did that for about 90 days at a time. And I had the first 90 days taken care of, and I started to focus on other things. I had already had my passport, so it was time to get my daughter's passport. And we did not get our visas until 2 weeks or maybe a month before going actually to Brazil. I recommend doing it as soon as you can or want to, but I always had money saved for our visas, for the additional passport that I had to pay for. I started saving for all of those things immediately. I did not tell anyone about my move abroad until everything was settled. I mentioned the fact that I was researching. I was looking into this place. I was looking into that place, what I liked or did not like. But of course, nobody ever takes you serious when you're talking. So it was easy to not have to justify my reasoning early on and think about what other people thought because I didn't tell anyone. But I did give information about my thought process. So that way, when a person really realized that I was leaving, they had a lot of information to go back on and say, oh, she did say she liked Mexico for this reason, that reason. Oh, she did say she liked Colombia. Oh, she did. I did say enough so that way people could think about it later, but I'd never press the issue. Like I would bring it up, and if a person didn't really engage in the conversation with me back, I left it at that. Okay, and I only did that for a handful of people. It was time I did let people know about 30 days before going. That is how much it did not matter what other people thought. And you should do it in this way because you don't want people's projections, negative thoughts, or feelings to weigh in on your personal decision to move abroad. This is also really good because you can take this time to do all the research you need to do, and when you tell people that you're moving abroad, you can answer those hard questions easily with a lot of confidence. And this also helps other people to realize that you're serious, that you've taken a lot of time to research this, you know what you're talking about, and that you're comfortable with this whole thing. And once they see that you're comfortable with it, it's more likely that they will be comfortable with it too because you're not in the beginning phases saying, oh, I don't know yet. Oh, I still have to look that up. Oh, this or that. So you want to keep it to yourself until 98% of the details are finalized. And that way you can do it all in one swift motion. You tell one person in the family, they tell everybody else, and the deed is done. I chose our destination based on the fact that we were going to be slow traveling and full time traveling. So, within the bracket of full time travel, you can either travel in a fast way or a slow way. We are traveling the slow way where we are utilizing our entire visa. And in this case, and some other cases going forward, probably we will be extending the visa. So, we're in essence staying as long as we possibly can in one location before we have to move. And I enjoy this because I don't want to have to pick up and move all the time. I want to see as much as possible, but when you're going to a new country, it takes time to learn the language, figure out where certain things are, enjoy the sights to see. You just need more time to do that. Also, I am 31. That's not old. I'm also with an 8-year-old. We're not going to be ripping and running around anywhere. We're not doing that. So we're just taking our time to just enjoy everything that the location has to offer and learn as much as we can while there. School is starting back up for my daughter, so we are also going to be homeschooling. So it's important to have functioning workspaces while we are in certain places and in the Airbnb. So another reason is I did not bring that much stuff, but what we have is quite heavy. My mom is visiting us, so I will be giving a lot of things to her to take back home. I'll probably donate more items as well, but you don't want to have to lug around a bunch of stuff. And as you go from place to place, you're probably going to accumulate a lot of things. We haven't been able to really indulge and accumulate a lot of things because we came here with fully loaded suitcases and backpacks. I was able to move abroad because of the ingrained hustle mentality and culture of being an American. When I decided I wanted to move abroad, I knew that there was a specific number because of using my toolkit and because of just the extensive research that I did that I needed to feel comfortable. So, in order to get that number, I needed to make as much money as possible by using the skills that I already had. So I ended up with 3 jobs for over 6 months. That was a lot. I had to rely on my family a lot to help me. I had to rely on her father. I relied on everyone that I could, and that was an extreme blessing. And it really helped me to see all the support that I had around me. And it really helped me to understand what I was going to need in order to go forward. With that being said, I'm glad all of that is over because the reason why I wanted to leave America was because I was tired of ripping and running and spending every dollar that I made to survive and to live. There's no reason why I was spending every dollar that I made. And a lot of it was the mentality that I can't save, right? Because I am grinding so hard. I'm just glad that hustle culture is over for me. It's just over and done. So I have 4 key takeaways to help you to understand what to do if you want to move abroad and you don't have a job, or you won't have a job when you move abroad. You want to save up as much money as you possibly can. That is not a part of the key tips, but that is the main focus here. Do whatever it takes. I sold all of my belongings. I sold my car. I sold all of my possessions except for what could fit into 3 square boxes. And one of them, well, 2 of them was for my daughter. I sold everything else. I sold everything in sight. That also helped. I maybe got a couple $1,000s from that. And every dollar helps. So get a job and sell all your stuff. But my 4 key takeaways are: let go of everything that's holding you back mentally. Let go of the people, places, things, the negative thoughts, feelings, emotions, and repeat phrases and sayings that you hear in your head and realize you're going to have a whole new life. You may not know what you're going to fill it with yet, but you deserve that. Number 2 is don't wait until everything is perfect. Do not wait any longer to move abroad. Don't wait. There's nothing out there. Things are not going to get any better. Just get your stuff together, sell everything, and leave. Number 3, Silence is power. When you are silent with your dreams and your aspirations, you create a very sacred container for these things to be in where outside forces and negativity cannot penetrate it. It's hard enough to navigate and manage your own negative thoughts. You don't need anyone else's thoughts in there. Don't say anything. Get yourself together, move in silence. Number 4 is your skills that you've been attaining for the last 5 to 10 years, even 2 years, are your security, not your job. You can create a job once you move abroad for yourself using your skills, using your high paying skills in order to survive. This is what is possible for you. You have to take a leap of faith, okay? A lot of people talk about their faith and, they're religious or they believe in these things, but how much do you really mean that? How much do you really believe in yourself and the power that God or whoever has bestowed upon you when they created you? It's time to put your money where your mouth is. If you're faithful and you believe, okay, believe in yourself. Put that energy into you. And it's so much easier said than done, but it's a practice, just like anything else. You have to get yourself used to trusting that you know what you should do in your life. If you've ever thought about moving abroad, but you think you need the perfect plan, you don't. But you do need a plan, okay? Get the Moving Abroad Toolkit. That is the very first step to moving abroad. You will not regret it, okay? Bye.